Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Today I'm going to give you guys my favorite loadouts for each characters in Star Wars Hunters. I already did one of these type of videos in the past, but now that the game introduced ranked and with all the new gameplay changes, this one is for the trash can. Without any further ado, let's get into the builds. Let's start with the attackers and what characters is better to start them with in more FX. The first character you get in the game. The first two builds both use evade 5 and lock on 4. For the scan you can use both level 3s. Survey is more used on bigger maps and whenever you have a coordinated team. Detect is more used in close combat maps and solo queue. The third build is the barrage 5 build. This one uses momentum 4, detect 3 and barrage 5. This build is meant to flank people and deal huge amounts of burst damage with your spam rockets. The next character I'm going to discuss is our sniper guy Diago. Diago has gotten many changes in this update, so let's break down his new builds. The first build has become really popular in ranked since most maps are close combat maps and are also objective based, besides squad ball of course. This build consists of Swift 4, Radial 3 and Daze 5. This build is meant to make Diago more of a close combat attacker. The next build is the Sniper build. It uses Steady 4, Radial 3 and Envelope 5. The last build is totally new since the 0.19 update and uses the new loadout Pinpoint 5, together with Steady 3 and Daze 4. This is an anti-melee build with the sniper option for massive damage. Huge shout out to Quick Draw providing this new build. Let's talk about the builds of our droid buddy, J3DI. I only use two main builds on this guy since I just think these two are the best and I don't need another one. The first build is my all-around build, consisting of Snatch 5, Backfire 3 and Smite 4. This build just gives so much self-healing to J3 and deals massive burst damage. Using the Pulse Slam combo is priority to this build. The next build is for whenever there is both Sentinel and Zimara in the enemy's team. This build uses Hull 3, Backfire 5 and Smite 4. Backfire 5 can melt an Imara or Sentinel down with their own bullets. Also now that the deflected stance got a change, you can hit those bullets to other enemies as well. These are the two builds I use 99% of the times. For a third build you can run Hull 5, Redoubt 3 and Smite 4. This build is all about self-healing. Next up we have the Dark Side Assassin Reeve. My first build for her is Escape 5, Fall 3 and Hurl 4. Escape 5 is the key in this build. It is good for getting out of traps and gives 30% damage reduction for 2 seconds. The next build consists of Escape 3, Fall 5 and Hurl 4. Escape is good for getting out of stuns, but her high priority is Vault 5 in this build. It knocks up enemies, disorienting them a bit and also gives a slow to your enemies while you gain a movement boost. Shout out to my friend Dartsep on this build. Next up is our Trooper Sentinel. Sentinel has a lot of different builds but can perform well with any builds you want to run. The first build is Durable 4, Entrench 3 and Bash 5. Bro Slam got a huge cooldown reduction in this update, so being able to spam Bash 5 is really crazy. The next build is not really popular anymore since this update. The build uses Convert 5, Blitz 3 and Bash 4. I would suggest to use my previous or the next build instead of this one. The last build is Durable 4, Blitz 3 and Pummel 5. Same reason as the first build, the Barrel Slam is really good now with this cooldown reduction. Yutuni is a bit of a weird one to make builds for. I only have two builds for him and it really depends on what ability you like the most about Yutuni. My first build is Scurry 5, Breakout 3 and Persist 4. This is the Employer Grenade spam build. My second build is Scurry 5, Breakout 4 and Explosive 3. This build is for a big burst damage on his push ability. Before we get into the supports and tanks, please join our The Ultimate Hunters Discord, where you can find even more builds and strategies for this game. The link is down in the description. Let's go into the support class. Let's talk about Skora first. Skora has two main builds, a more offensive build and a more defense build. The defensive build uses Prolong 5, Try H4 and Remedy 3. The offensive build uses Flee 5, Try H4 and Afflict 3. The guy in the chair has a few insane builds and he's probably one of the best supports currently in the game. My favorite build is Multi-Target 4, Restorative 5 and Safeguard 3. You can change Restorative 5 to Emergent 5 if you see that the enemy team has a lot of burst damage. The last build is the best of 5 build together with Emergency 4 and Safeguard 3. Really good to take down tanks or to be a bully with Sprocket. Our Rebel Xena has a ton of different builds. Here are my 3 favorites. The first build is a Sticky 5 build, together with Intensive 5 and Comeback 3. This build is my personal favorite to use for Xena. The stun is really good in this current meta. Next up is a Comeback 5 build. If you are good with using Fling, you should use Fling 4 on the backed up bomb. If you are not good with it, like me, switch to Intensive 4. You can choose between Sticky or Widespread 3. The last build is the Intensive 5 build. Together with Dual Spin 4 and Sticky 3, this build is great to spam heals. Shout out to my friend Galanir for helping with these builds. We're now going into our last class, the tanks. Starting with our Lizard Char. My general build for him is Reform 4, Poison 5 and Bind 3. My next build is almost identical, besides that I changed Bind 3 to Takedown 3. This build is to counter enemy tanks. My last build is what I call the Trap Master build. It uses Reform 4, Ensnare 5 and Bind 3. Next up is our big teddy bear Grass. My general loadout for Grass is Sprint 5, Invigorate 4 and Quake 3. My second build is for more burst damage and stuns, using Trash 5, Invigorate 3 and Quake 4. The last build is for making Grass a bit more of a support tank, using Bolster 5 together with Sprint 3 and Hammer 4. Our final character is Slingshot. I have two main loadouts for him, a full-on tank build and an all-about movement build. My full-on tank build uses Fortify 5, Energize 3 and Target 4. My all-about movement build uses Shadow 4, Recharge 5 and Spread 3. So that were all my builds for each character in Star Wars Hunters. Hope this video was helpful, and if it was, please consider liking and subscribing since this video took some time to make. I wish you all the best and hope to see you in the next video or stream, and may the force be with you. Peace.